2 cucumber plants. Same seeds, same soil, same sunlight. One stands 6 feet tall. Thick stem, dark green leaves, loaded with fruit. The other, knee-high, yellow, struggling to survive. The only difference? One single watering, 1 quart of a solution that costs less than $1 to make. Can a $1 packet of baker's yeast truly transform your entire harvest? Let's find out. The archive opens in kitchens around the world, where a forgotten formula has been quietly feeding gardens for generations. From the fermented plant juices of Korean farms, to the comfrey teas of English cottages, to handwritten Soviet notebooks, they all knew. And now, so will you. Here's what happened in one backyard trial. Day 0. 2 identical cucumber seeds planted in matching containers. Same potting mix, same watering schedule, same location. Day 7. Plant B receives 1 quart of yeast brew, properly diluted. Plant A gets plain water. Day 12. The difference is already visible. Plant A, 8 inches tall, leaves starting to yellow, slight curl at the edges. Plant B, over 12 inches, leaves dark green and glossy, no signs of stress. Day 15, plant B hits 18 inches, side shoots emerging. Plant A still struggling at 10 inches. Day 20, plant B produces its first flower. Plant A has none. Day 28. The gap is undeniable. Plant A, knee-high, thin stem, sparse foliage. Plant B, 40 inches tall, stem as thick as a broom handle, dense canopy. Harvest day, July 12th. Plant A, 3 cucumbers, less than 1 pound total. Plant B, 9 cucumbers, 3.1 pounds, 1 watering, $1 worth of ingredients, triple the yield. But this isn't magic, it's biology. Biology that's been documented for centuries and deliberately ignored by the fertilizer industry. This knowledge didn't appear yesterday. In the hills of Korea, farmers have brewed fermented plant juice for centuries, a living fertilizer passed down through generations. In English cottage gardens, comfrey tea has darkened in jars since before your great-grandmother was born. In Soviet-era dachas, when fertilizer was scarce, handwritten notebooks circulated with yeast formulas. Survival knowledge hidden from the state. The formula changes. The principle endures. Living biology, fed by sugar, awakened by warmth. The archive remembers what industry forgot. Here's the exact recipe. You'll need 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. Even expired yeast works. 2 tablespoons of sugar, white, brown, doesn't matter. 1 quart of warm water, not hot, not cold, just warm. Step 1. Add the sugar to the warm water. Stir until dissolved. Step 2. Sprinkle in the yeast. Stir gently. Step 3. Cover loosely. Do not seal it tight. The fermentation produces gas. A tight lid will build pressure. Step 4. Wait 2 to 12 hours until you see a thick layer of foam on top. That foam means it's alive. That's your indicator. Now here's the critical part, the dilution. Never pour this directly on your plants. The concentrated brew will burn the roots. Take that 1 quart of starter and add it to 5 gallons of water. Stir well. Use immediately. That's it. 5 gallons of living fertilizer for less than $1. But you can make it even more powerful. These additions are optional, but they create what some gardeners call superfeed. For your 5-gallon batch, wood ash, 1 to 2 cups, provides potassium for stronger stems and heavier fruit. Caution: too much raises pH and locks out other nutrients. Epsom salt, 1 tablespoon, provides magnesium for darker, healthier leaves. If your leaves are already dark green, skip this or reduce the amount. Eggshell powder, 2 tablespoons, finely ground. Provides calcium for stronger cell walls and disease resistance. Alternative, crushed oyster shell or garden lime. But be careful with dosing. Stir everything into your diluted brew. Let it sit for 30 minutes, then apply to the soil around your plants, not on the leaves, not directly on the stem. The soil, where the roots can drink it in. Now let me explain why this actually works. Because this isn't folk wisdom, it's documented science. Dr. Enikuan, a plant physiologist at the University of Minnesota, has studied yeast's effects on plant growth for over a decade. Here's what the research shows. First, hormone production. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, common baker's yeast, produces compounds similar to cytokinins and auxins. These are plant hormones that trigger cell division and root elongation. More cells, longer roots, deeper reach into the soil. Second, nutrient unlocking. When yeast cells die, they release phosphorus and nitrogen in forms that plants can absorb immediately. Dr. Mateo Alvarez, a soil microbiologist, calls it a living bridge, connecting locked minerals in your soil to hungry plant roots. Third, biological shield. Yeast colonizes the root zone. It competes with harmful bacteria and fungi for space and resources. Think of it as a probiotic for your soil. Fewer pathogens, healthier roots. Fourth, stress resistance. Studies show yeast-treated plants handle drought and heat better. They regulate water loss more efficiently. In controlled experiments on wheat and sugar beet, researchers documented 20 to 30% yield increases, 20 to 30%, from an organism you can buy at any grocery store. A backyard grower in Ohio has been using this method for 3 seasons. She calls it the cheapest insurance policy for my tomatoes. So if this works so well, why isn't it on every shelf in every garden center? The answer is simple and uncomfortable. Yeast is alive, and living things don't sit quietly in bottles. The moment you seal yeast in a container, it starts fermenting, producing carbon dioxide, building pressure. A sealed bottle would bulge, then burst. An unsealed bottle, the solution goes flat. The yeast dies. The product becomes worthless. There is no shelf-stable version of living biology. Now look at the economics. Commercial fertilizer, $30 to $50 per 5 pounds. Homemade yeast brew, less than $1 per 5 gallons. Commercial fertilizer, shelf life of years. Yeast brew lasts days. Commercial fertilizer contains inorganic salts. Yeast brew contains living microorganisms. Commercial fertilizer, high profit margins. Patentable. Yeast brew, 0 profit. Not patentable. The fertilizer industry generates over $200 billion a year. $200 billion. Selling you dead minerals in plastic bags, while a packet of yeast sits in your kitchen drawer, waiting. The barrier isn't biology, it's business. As one researcher put it, living biology doesn't fit in a bottle, but it fits perfectly into the rhythms of a frugal, results-driven garden. Now let me be honest with you. The 3 times yield in that experiment, that's an outlier, not the norm. Realistic expectation, 20 to 30% improvement. That means 5 tomatoes instead of 4. An extra pound of beans, 1 more week of harvest. It's not magic. It's marginal gains that compound over a season. Application frequency. The sweet spot is every 7 to 14 days. More often doesn't mean better. Over-application can stress roots and attract pests. Safety protocol. Test on 1 plant first. Wait a week. Watch for problems. If everything looks good, scale up. Signs you've overdone it: pale or yellowing leaves, wilting despite moist soil, darkening roots. If you see these, stop. Dilute more next time, or extend the interval between applications. Variables that affect results. Soil quality. Poor soil shows more improvement. Plant type. Leafy greens and fruiting crops respond best. Climate, watering, even the brand of yeast. This is biology, not chemistry. Results vary. But when it works, and it usually does, you'll see the difference within 2 weeks. What happens if you get it wrong? One gardener in Texas poured undiluted brew directly on seedlings. The next morning, leaves were brown, roots scorched. The fix was simple: dilute more. Water the soil around the plant, not on it, and wait a week before trying again. Mistakes are data. The soil forgives. A common question: what about chlorine in tap water? Chlorine can harm beneficial microbes. 2 solutions. Let tap water sit uncovered for 24 hours. The chlorine evaporates. Or use rainwater, filtered water, or dechlorinator drops. As for smell, yeast brew is mild, almost bread-like. Unlike fish emulsion or manure tea, your neighbors won't complain. If it smells rotten, something went wrong. Toss it and start fresh. The chemical fertilizer industry spends billions convincing you that soil is just a medium for their products. But soil is alive, and it responds to life. A packet of yeast costs pennies. The knowledge to use it has existed for centuries. The real revolution doesn't start in the store aisle. It starts in your soil, with organisms too small to see, doing work too valuable to measure. The barrier was never biology, it was habit and industry inertia. The archive continues through you. One packet of yeast, one act of remembering. Plant the knowledge, share the harvest. The archive never closes.